Hello everybody, how you all doing? Welcome back to my channel. Oh, hello, if it's your first time here, I'm Wayne. I'm so glad you could join me. Right, I've got a suggestion from Cliff Russo. Massively appreciate you, mate. This is, I've seen a couple of other suggestions for the fat electrician as well. I've seen a couple of suggestions, but doing this one first. Most gangster fighter jet of all time. F-15 Eagle. I've heard of the F-15, but I didn't know it was the Eagle too. I'm not sure what the plane looks like in my head. We'll soon find out. But for me, my favourite plane, as I said on here, is a Harrier jump jet. But my favourite aircraft of all time is the Apache. Oh yeah, speaking of that, while I'm still thinking of it, I read in the comments that they're making a stealth version of the Apache. How the hell are you making a stealth version of that? Weren't it already stealthy? I'm guessing when I say stealthy, they don't mean make it quieter. They just mean signals that it gives off, innit? Opposed to actual sounds, whatever the hell that is, propeller sounds and stuff. So yeah, not that sort of stealthy quietly, but electronically quiet. I'm guessing that's what it is in this day and age, innit? Right, then back to this. I think, for me personally, the most gangster jet. Wait, it's a bomber. He's still a jet. He's got jet engines. Is the Avro Vulcan. I love that. But I might have mind changed on this. My favourite plane, Harrier, but the most gangster, Avro Vulcan. But yeah, I might have my mind changed on this. I have seen some shorts of the fat electrician, so I know who he is. But I've never watched any of his videos, I don't think. But anyway, I'll give it a like and a subscribe. Alright, yeah, let's get on with it. I hope you guys are all having a lovely day. I'm looking forward to checking this out, see if it can change my mind. From the Avro Vulcan to the Eagle.
Today we're talking about the most gangster fighter jet of all time, the F-15 Eagle.
Oh yeah. Now I do know what that one is.
Ladies and gentlemen.
See, I don't really know about these machines. I love them. I think they're beautiful. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of the jets all kind of look the same to me now. It looks to me like the Typhoons that we have flying above here all the damn time. Because I live extremely close to a RAF base. But I don't go close enough to see what they look like on the ground. But yeah. From the underneath, it just looked like a Typhoon.
This is the American muscle car equivalent.
I'm sorry for pausing all the time. My favourite cars as well are American muscle cars. They'd be no good on the roads here because there's far too many bends and that where I live. I live in the middle of nowhere. No straight roads to be seen, to be found. But American muscle cars, Mustang. I got into a game on PlayStation 1 called Driver. I think it was a predecessor to GTA. I may be wrong, and I probably am wrong on that, but it's that kind of style anyway. And I just love the cars on there, and because of that game, I fell in love with American muscle cars. One of my parents' neighbours just down the road's got a oh my god, is it Mustang GT, the one with the horse, right? Mustang GTO or some kind. It's like lime green. I wouldn't have picked it in that colour, but other than that, it's bloody beautiful. Anyway, back to the fat electrician talking about the most gangster jet. I'm so sorry. Let's just start again.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the American muscle car equivalent of a fighter jet. Developed during the Cold War in the early 1970s, it was designed to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to establish air superiority. And being that this was the 1970s and stealth technology wasn't going to come out for another decade, Uncle Sam had to rely on good old-fashioned horsepower and gunpowder. He figured if you couldn't be sneaky enough to go unnoticed, you just had to be fast enough to go untouched. And that is exactly what they did with the F-15, because it is equipped with two Pratt & Whitney F-100 engines, totaling 19,200 horsepower, which is like 800,000 water chickens. This plane can travel at a max speed of Mach 2.
Did he say?
Two Pratt & Whitney F-100 engines, totaling 19,200 horsepower, which is like 800,000 water chickens. This plane can travel at
800, right, I heard they had comedy in here. 800,000 water chickens. You're probably going to tell me that's not even a joke, that there is such things called water chickens.
F-15 because it is equipped with 2 Pratt & Whitney F-100 engines totaling 19,200 horsepower, which is like 800,000 water chickens. This plane can travel at a max speed of Mach 2.5, which is roughly 1,900 miles an hour.
Insane.
And here's the kicker, it's not just fast, it's quick. And if you don't know the difference, I'll elaborate.
When they fly over your head and they hit their boost or whatever, the boost button, and break that sound barrier, it frightens the life out of you. As I say, they're flying all above here a lot. Or all the time, should I say. And it's alright when they're just like through the sky, but all of a sudden when they're just scares the life out of me still.
You can build up speed slowly and be fast, but being quick is the ability to be fast in a hurry. And the F-15 is like a drag car. It is fast the minute you hit the throttle. So fast, in fact, that you can argue that it could be classified as a rocket. Okay, hear me out. I'm gonna nerd out for a second. Generally speaking, aircrafts need to do 2 things to fly. They need to generate lift and thrust. They need to generate enough lift to counteract gravity, so the physical weight of the aircraft, and they need to generate enough thrust to counteract drag. But here's the thing with the F-15, it has a greater than 1 thrust to weight ratio, meaning that it can generate enough pounds of thrust to offset drag and the weight of the aircraft, meaning it doesn't need to generate lift to sustain flight, which is what a fucking rocket does. If you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm trying to tell you the F-15 doesn't need to generate lift, it can just beat the atmosphere into...
But at the end of the day, jet planes are rockets, as he said. It would just wings on anyway, aren't they, essentially? But yeah, so this is one of these jets that can literally tumble out of the sky and make it look as though it's falling out of the sky and just if it wants to. Yeah. I know the types. Oh, play.
Submission. The F-15 could literally have its wings chopped off in mid-flight and it would still be able to fly. And I can already hear the comment section now. Buh! The chubby Electron guy's so dumb he needs to go back to high school physics class. That's not how any of this works. Buh. No, that's exactly how this works, and guess what? If you don't want to believe me and what's theoretical,
but not seen it in real life, but I've seen it plenty of times on stuff on telly, internet and that, where planes that just, I don't know, it's like they shut off the engine and just start tumbling out of the sky and all of a sudden just go... So these are one of the planes that are capable of that massively, of course.
Possible on paper, you don't have to, because this has already happened in real life. In 1983, an F-15 had a mid-air collision, completely lost 1 wing, and then proceeded to fly 10 more miles and then land safely. Okay, and if that's not enough proof that it's basically a rocket, you can look at how an F-15 takes off. I'll show you the footage. The minute it clears the runway, it goes straight vertical and breaks the sound barrier. It is one of the only planes on the planet that can do that.
The sounds, oh, it's about to hit the sound barrier there. When you see that as well, I see that a hell of a lot in real life when it breaks the sound barrier. But as I say, it scares the life out of you. That tearing sound, that doesn't bother me as it's going through the sky, but it's, as I imagine it's about to do here.
And breaks the sound barrier. It is one of the only planes on the planet that can do that. Well, even if it is that fast, common sense dictates that they had to make a bunch of design compromises, and I bet the F-15 has hardly any firepower because of it. You know what? For once, you're right. That is what common sense would dictate, because that's what every other country does. If they want to go really fast, they either have to sacrifice firepower or maneuverability. However, here's what you're not taking into consideration. This is America. We don't make cents. We make dollars, and this thing has more firepower than any other fighter jet in the American fleet. Yeah, more bombs, more missiles, and on the off chance that isn't enough, it's also equipped with an M61 Vulcan 20mm Gatling cannon in case it needs to tell somebody to get fucked at 6,000 rounds per minute.
I love that sound. I absolutely love that sound. At the same time, I need to, over the time that I'll be doing this channel, which hopefully is going to be bloody years, because I've got a hell of a lot to learn. I'll never learn it all. But I'll be doing a lot of military stuff. I want to learn about the Warthog, definitely. I want to watch more videos about the Apaches. I definitely want to learn about the stealth Apache that I've read about in the comments. But yeah, that noise. But people have been shot at don't get to hear these noises, do they? It's like when a jet goes past a lot of the time, yeah, you hear it, but you cannot see it. And yeah, if you can hear the sound of it, then it's not aiming for you. Is that what they say? Or am I making that up?
So just
Beautiful sound.
in case it needs to tell somebody to get fucked at 6,000 rounds per minute.
I can't do it.
So just so we're all on the same page, even though the F-15 is over 50 years old, it is still the fastest and most heavily armed fighter jet in the American fleet. And did I mention that it can also go like 3,000 miles without needing to refuel? Meaning that it's also extremely versatile logistically speaking, because it can fly from America to Europe without needing aerial refueling. And here's the kicker, none of that is the reason it's the most gangster fighter jet of all time. It's the most gangster fighter jet of all time because this thing is the epitome of a pro gamer move. It has a real world combat record of 104-0. It is downed 104 enemy aircrafts and been shot down 0 times in return. It is the only aircraft to lose a wing, continue flying, and land safely. It's the only aircraft to ever shoot down a satellite while it was still in.
See, right? It'd have been able to, I imagine, right, probably not, but in my mind, I imagine that the pilot of that jet would have been able to fly easier if the other wing had have come off as well. So I bet he had to fight it to stop it from rolling one way. But so if the engine, the wing came off the other side, he'd be able to just fly it like an actual rocket then. But I don't know. I bet it would fly easier without the other wing on there.
In outer space. Yeah, America did that during the Cold War. We shot down one of our own spy satellites to send a message to the Soviet Union that we could do it to their satellites too. And my personal favorite, it is the only aircraft to ever score an air-to-air kill using a bomb. Not an air-to-air missile, a bomb. Yeah, in 1991 during Desert Storm, it actually hit a moving Mi-24 Hind helicopter with a GBU-10 bomb. Yeah, this one. That is a 2,000-pound general-purpose bomb, and it just hit a moving helicopter with it. That is absolutely unheard of. In conclusion, while the F-15 is no longer the best fighter jet on the planet because it's been replaced by the F-22 Raptor, I feel pretty confident in saying that it will go down in history as the greatest fighter jet of all time. And that history is still being written because America is coming out with another F-15, the F-15EX Eagle II. And that's going to have to be its own video some other time. Thanks for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out.
Quack bang out. I like that. Quack bang out. Right, no, amazing. I'm going to check out loads more Fat Electricians because I've had a few people mention his name. But yeah, I have heard of that before with a jet coming back, limping back with one wing, but that was amazing. Yeah, I didn't realise it was an American F-15. As I say, I've got loads to learn and so much to do on this channel, and I'm happy you guys are helping me along the way. So as I said, I'm going to keep coming back with more Fat Electricians. I've got loads of suggestions written down in my books and that. So yeah. Oh, I'm about to do another one as well that I read in the comments. Someone suggested it. Amy Eric Cowboy Kent Rollins. Amy suggested it. Cowboy Kent Rollins. So this was only short, so I'm going to get onto that one next, I reckon. So if you want to join me, join me. If not, I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Bye bye.